this review to study, well, along with the other one too, but this one also should help a lot. So first question, we have two brands. Actually, yeah, the first question is a little bit tricky. No, actually, oh, sorry, I misread it. So there's two orange juice, brand A. So let's call it A. All right, and the brand A is $2.52, and we can get 12 ounces of orange juice. Brand B is $4.40, and you can get 20 ounces. So they're asking us what is the difference in price for by the ounce, and that's the tricky part. So the first thing we have to do is find the unit rate. So how much is 1 ounce here? Well, divide by 12, and we do that. The same old thing we always do. 2.52 divided by 12. That gives us 21 cents. So each ounce is 21 cents. Here, we divide by 20, divide by 20. And 1 ounce of, is it orange juice? Yeah, orange juice is 4.40 divided by 20 gives us 22 cents. So what's the difference in price per fluid ounce? So one is cost me 22 cents. The other cost me 21 cents. So what's the difference in price? Well, 22 cents minus 21 cents is 1 penny. So the difference per ounce is 1 cent. Sam travels 45.5 miles in 4/5 of an hour. How much can he travel in 1 hour? So again, we have to find the unit rate. So in 1 hour, how far can he travel? So we multiply by the reciprocal, which is 5/4. Multiply this by the reciprocal, which is 5/4. So we're gonna get 45.5 times 5/4. That's gonna give us 56 7/8 of a mile per hour. Distance. Three, on the map, the legend reads, or the scale at the bottom of the map says 1 inch. I'm going to write here, so the scale, right? So I'm going to write tiny scale. The scale is 1 inch is 8.5 miles. And on the other side, I'm already going to get my proportion ready. So I'm going to write inches on top, miles at the bottom. So the distance between Paris and Moscow, okay, two cities, is 5 inches. So on the map, right, so let's say this is Paris, right, in France, and Moscow is all the way here in Russia. And you measure that with a ruler, right? And you measure that with a ruler, and it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. So what is the actual distance in real life? Okay, so I'm going to put 5 over here. I shouldn't have used Moscow. I made this question up, so definitely not Moscow. Okay. So put an x here because I want the distance, right? So cross multiply, x equals, and 8.5 times 5, 8.5 times 5 equals 42.5 miles. Okay. So this is completely fake, but the answer here, according to this, is 42.5. Okay. It's much further than that. So the directions for homemade glass cleaner. So let's say you want to clean the house and clean the windows. You're supposed to use 2 parts water. So whatever you use 2 of, you use 2 parts or 2 cups of water with 2 cups of vinegar with 5 cups of water. It says it right here. So let's write that as my ratio. So 2 parts, I'm going to write 2 parts vinegar. I mix it with 5 parts water. And I mix that up, spray the window and I start cleaning. So this is the recipe. So Mr. Gilbert, whoever he is, he says, okay, I'm gonna mix 8 cups of vinegar. So I'm gonna use 8 parts of vinegar. And then he used 12 cups of water. Did he follow the instructions correctly? Did he keep it proportional? So water over here. Well, let's take a look. Well, this one's kind of easy. The numbers are kind of nice. How did the 2 become 8? Times 4, right? So if this was in a proportion, the 5 should have been multiplied by 4. Should have. But he can know, and 5 times 4 is 20, so he should have used 20 water, right? But he didn't. So we know, and what did he actually use? Well, we can find out. We divide 12 by 5, we get 2 points. So he multiplied the bottom, right, the water, by 2.4. Obviously, they're not the same. So you can explain that he did not increase the recipe correctly, because he was supposed to quadruple each part, right? The vinegar was 4 times, and the water, he should have been 4 times as much, meaning he should have used 20 cups of water, but instead he used 12. So all that you can explain, but we all get that information first of all from this setup. Okay, so this is the question. I thought it was number 1. We have a 4-pack of 12-ounce bottles. So guys, you have to understand what that is. So here's a 4-pack. So there's 1 bottle, 2 bottles, 3 bottles, 4 bottles, right? 4-pack of 12 ounce. So there's 4. How many ounces? There's 12 ounces here, 12 ounces here, 12 ounces here, and 12 ounces here. You have to understand this because that's crucial. So in total, how many ounces do we have? Well, I have 12 ounces plus 12 ounces plus 12 ounces plus 12 ounces. I have 48 ounces of water. So now, so they're asking us how much is each ounce, right? How much is each little sip that you take, right? Which is about an ounce. So you pay $4.25 for how many ounces? For 48 ounces, which is the total of all 4 bottles. Well, to find the unit rate, we're going to divide it by 48 and divide this by 48. So 1 ounce, and let's see, 4.25 divided by 48 equals 0.008. So we're going to round this to about 9 cents. So every ounce here costs you 9 cents. Let me just spread this out. Right, here we go. 6. Again, another unit rate question. What was our average speed for the trip? So we're going to write 200.5 miles in 4.8 hours. So that was her trip. So we want her unit rate, which is for 1 hour. So we're going to divide this by 4.8. Divide this by 4.8. And on top, we get 205 to 200.5, sorry, divided by 4.8. And you're going to get a decimal number. It's going to be 41.77 miles in 1 hour. Okay. Explain if the ratios are proportional. So let me take the first one over here. 7 over 8 equals 35 over 56. Tell me if this is proportional. Well, 2 ways you can do this. Well, let's go the easy way. 7 times what's 35? Times 5. So it means that the bottom should have been also times 5. Is it? Is 8 times 5 56? No. So right away we can say it's not proportional. Not proportional, right? Because we didn't multiply top and bottom by same factor. What's another way we can check if they are proportional? We can cross multiply. So let's multiply 7 times 56. So if you multiply 56 times 7, you get 392. And if you multiply 8 times 35, we get 280. Are they equal to each other? No, so not proportional. So the first one, is a no. Let's check the second one. 4 over 5 equals 24 over 30. Well, this one looks like it is. Times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times 6 is 30. That's good. Let's cross multiply. What's 4 times 30? 120. What's 5 times 24? Also 120. Are they equal to each other? So yes, they are proportional. So the second one is a yes. Okay. We're going for 8. Sarah. We'll do 8 and 9. Hopefully on the same page. Okay, so Sarah can swim 25 meters in 45 seconds. How far can she swim in 80 seconds? Okay. So let's write the rate first. 25 meters, 45, well, I write seconds. So let's find the unit rate first. How far can she swim in 1 second? Well, divide by 45, divide by 45. So 25 divided by 45 is 0.55, and I'm going to round this to 0.56. Okay, so I have a rate. We'll change it to unit rate, and we can do a prediction. So for here, I want to put 80 seconds at the bottom. So how does a 1 become an 80? Well, times 80. So therefore, on top of that, multiply by 80, right? So 0.56 times 80 is going to give us 44.8 meters. That's how far she can swim in that time. Number 9, I'm going to need a little bit more room. We have 2 containers, and we want to check which one's leaking faster, container A or container B. So again, anytime you want to compare, it's probably telling you that you need a unit rate, right? So here's the first container. It's losing 5/6 of a gallon every 15 minutes. It's losing a lot of water. And the other one, so this is A. B is losing how much? 4/5 of a gallon in 1/3 of an hour. 1/3 of an hour. So we need to find the unit rate. Now here's where you have to be careful. In this case, I would change both of them to hours. I would change both of them to hours. Now, tricky part is this the first one. So we have 15 minutes. How do I get 15 minutes to become 1 hour? Now think about time. How many 15 minutes are in 1 hour? 15 minutes. If I go another 15 minutes, that's 30 minutes. If I go another 15 minutes, that's 45 minutes. If I go another 15 minutes, guess what? Now I have 60 minutes. Right? So I can multiply this by 4. And 15 minutes times 4 becomes 1 hour, which it allows me to do the same thing on top. So 5/6 times 4, you can use a calculator, and I'll just use a calculator because I'm too lazy. 5/6 times 4 is going to give us 3 1/3. Okay, so 3 1/3 gallons in 1 hour. That's a lot of water that you're losing. This one, it's in a fraction format, so this one makes it a little bit easier for me. How do I change that to 1 hour? Well, reciprocal is 3 over 1. Reciprocal is 3 over 1. So this is, 4 times 3 is 12, so we're going to get 12 over 5. And we switch that, right? How many times can 5 go into 12? 2 times, 2 left over, and 5. So it's losing how many gallons? 2 2/5 gallons. So which one is losing more water or leaking fastest? Container A. Okay. 10. Sorry, let me just move that a little bit. Again, another unit rate per gallon. So we want to know in 1 gallon. So that's we're gonna write. So gallon has to be at the bottom, guys. So this guy travels 140 miles in 7 1/3 gallons. The truck goes. What's the unit rate with 1 gallon? All right, so I'll be honest with you guys. You guys have a calculator, yeah? So you can just, you can switch this. You can switch the 7 1/3 to a improper fraction. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 1. So you can write 22/3. Okay. If you write, so I'm gonna actually do that. So I'm gonna change that and write 22/3 over here. And the reason I do that, because now I know what the reciprocal is. The reciprocal is what? 3/22. And the top would be 3/22. That's why I changed it. So 140 times, what is that? 3/22. It's going to give me 19 and 1/11. Okay, miles in 1 gallon. That's the unit rate. Now, do it again, but except that this time I'm not going to change it. So I'm 7 1/3. So how will I get 7 1/3 to become 1? Well, I divide by 7 1/3, right? 7 1/3 divided by 7 1/3 equals 1. And on top, I divide by 7 1/3 as well. It's the same exact thing because you have a calculator. So if you take your calculator and divide 140 divided by 7 1/3, you're going to get the exact same answer, which is 19 and 1/11. Okay. 11. 11. Okay, so here again you need the unit rate. Anytime you have two rates, they're probably want you to compare. So let's do the first one. So in the morning, a farmer, a worker, he can pick 3 pints of strawberries every 4 minutes. In the afternoon, she can pick 2 pints of strawberries every 3 minutes. What's the difference between the afternoon and the morning picking rates in pints per hour? So is she going faster in the afternoon? Is she going slower in the morning? What is happening here, right? So let's change it. But first of all, the one thing you have to realize, they want us to compare it into pints per hour. This one is in minutes, right? Minutes and minutes. So let's change everything to an hour. So let's do the first one. So the first one said she can pick 3 pints in 4 minutes. And then in the afternoon, 2 pints in 3 minutes. So did she get slower, faster? What is happening? So let's change it to hours first of all. Let's change this to 1 hour. So this is 4 minutes, right? So how do I change 4 minutes? How do I get 4 minutes to become 1 hour? Well, I multiply 4 minutes times 15, right? 4 times 15. Guess what it gets me? It gets me 60 minutes. And 60 minutes is the same thing as an hour. So 4 times 15 is an hour. So I'm going to multiply the top by 15, which means 3 times 15 is 45. She picks 45 pints in 1 hour. In the afternoon, so again, we're going to change this to 1 hour. 3 minutes, well, how many 3 minutes groups are in 1 hour? What do I multiply 3 minutes to give me 1 hour? Well, 3 minutes times 20, because 3 times 20 equals 60. And 60 minutes is the same thing as 1 hour. So times 20, times 20. So 2 times 20 on top gives me 40 pints. So in the afternoon, maybe because it's hotter, she's tired, she does 40 pints in 1 hour. In the morning was 45 pounds. So what's the difference? Well, 45 minus 40, the difference is 5 pints. So there's a difference of 5 pints in her morning and afternoon picking rate. Okay, so 12, a small factory can make 3/4 of a gallon of chemicals per minute. How many can he make in a day? Oh my god. Okay, so let me write that down. 3/4 gallons of whatever chemical gallon in 1 minute. So we're gonna change this. They want to ask us. They're asking us how much in 1 day. All right, so 1 minute. So let's write this down. 1 hour has 60 minutes. So if I multiply this by 60, okay, I might have to do some steps. First of all, let's do this. Let's find her rate in 1 hour, or the company's chemical. How much chemical can they? How much chemical can they produce in an hour? In 1 minute, they can produce 3/4 in a gallon. Well, in 1 minute, right? So how many minutes in 1 hour? Times 60. So let's multiply this by 60 and this by 60. Okay, and 1545. So if you multiply 3/4 of 60, you get 45 gallons of chemicals in 1 hour. They're asking us in a day. Well, I'm not there yet. So now I'm going to go further, do it again. And in 1 day, how many gallons of that chemical can they produce? Well, 1 day has how many hours? How do I get 1 hour to become 1 day? I multiply that by 24, because there's 24 hours in a day. I multiply this by 24. So every hour they can do 45 gallons. So if you give them 24 hours, you're going to get 1,080 gallons of chemicals. Pretty scary. Okay, so that's what you have to do. 13. Okay, 13. I don't even know why the question is there. Mr. Johnson's class saying Mr. Johnson, the ratio of boys to girls. So there's boys and girls, and the ratio, I'm going to write as a fraction, is 4 to 12. So if there's 6 boys, how many girls are there? So on this side, boys and girls. If there's 6 boys, they're asking us how many girls are there. Well, instead of the question mark, I'm going to write X. So you can simplify 4/12. So for example, 4/12, I'm going to divide that, simplify to 1/3. Then I'm going to ask you, how does a 1 become 6? Times 6. So what do I do at the bottom? Times 6, and that should give us 18 girls. You can do it this way. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. What if you said, Mr. Cho, I don't want to simplify? Oh, that's fine too. Well, then cross multiply. 4 times x is 4x. 12 times 6 is 72. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X is going to be 18. So again, there are 18 girls in the class. 15. So an object travels a straight line at a constant rate. The object travels 1/20th of the length of the path in 3/4 of a second. At that rate, how many seconds will it take for the object to travel the entire length of the plane? So tricky here is knowing who to write in the numerator and who to write in the denominator. So they're asking us how many seconds, right, does it take for the object to travel the whole length here. So, and this is the whole length would be the whole like one lap around something, like one lap, right? So that's what we want to write in the denominator. So we're going to write it this way: 3/4 of a second. So not even 1 second to go 1/20th of the length. So imagine it was, I don't know, a circular thing, and this is whatever is traveling. So they can travel this much in 3/4 of a second. How long will it take to do one full lap around? So think of it that way. Maybe that'll help. So this is a unit rate question, believe it or not. To go one full length, one full lap, how long, how many seconds would it take? So we're looking for that. How many seconds? And that would be the setup. So let me erase the question mark. Now, what's the reciprocal of 1/20? 20 over 1, right? That's going to give us the 1. 1/20th times 20 over 1 is 1. And on top, I multiply it 20 over 1. And 3/4 times 20 is going to be 15. So how long will it take for this thing to go around one full lap? 15 seconds. 15. So pay attention, guys. So now questions like 15, please do yourselves a favor and draw it out. Okay. So think about proportions, which is our unit. So imagine we have a rectangle right here. I need some room here. Imagine we have a rectangle, and it's 4 feet wide and 9 feet long. So let me just draw it out. It's 4 by 9. This is 9, and this is 4, right? So they're asking you if you made this a little bit bigger, so imagine you increase the size. Right, and you made this a 20 by 54. Are these, did you increase it proportionally? How did the 4, for this side and this side are corresponding, how did the 4 become a 20, guys? Times 5, right? Did the 9 become a 54 multiplied by 5? If no, then they're not similar. If yes, then we kept it proportional. But obviously you can tell that this was not, because 9 times 5 is not 54, it's 9 times 6. So the first one does not work. So again, let me use the 4-9 rectangle, right? And let's look at the second rectangle that they drew. It's 16 here and 36 here. Did they increase that by the same factor? 4 times what? 16 times 4. 9 times what's 36 times 4. So in this case, yes, the second rectangle, I'm sorry, okay, was kept proportional. 16. So how much sugar do you need with 1 cup of flour? So this is the key here that tells you who is going to be in the denominator. So I'm going to write 1 1/3 cups of sugar. So I need that much every time I use 2 7/8 cups of flour. Okay. So the question is, if you had only 1 cup of flour, how much sugar would you need? Well, we have to find the unit rate. So how does 2 7/8 become 1? Well, divided by, well, if you're not going to change that to an improper fraction, you can just write it like this. And we're going to divide the top by the same. So 1 1/3, so definitely, so make sure it's 1 1/3 divided by 2 7/8. And you get 32 over 69 cups of sugar. Okay, so that's how much you need if you were to use 1 cup of flour. Okay, so again, it's a unit rate question. Sam drew a rectangle. Okay, hang on a second. So When Sam draws, you draw. So it's 9, and again, it might obviously definitely don't look at my picture. It's a 9 by 15 in width. Okay. She wants to make a similar rectangle. Let me just do this in the drawing. So it's a 9 and 15 rectangle, right? 9 in length and wide width is 15. So she wants to draw another rectangle, keep it similar. So in here, she's using 27 feet as her length. She's asking you, help her figure out what that side should be to width. Well, you can set up a proportion. Or in this one, actually, in this case, we probably don't need one. So how did the 9 become a 27? Well, times 3. How did the 15? How do we get to this number here? Well, we're going to increase the size by 3. Obviously, all sides we multiply by 3. So 15 times 3 is 45. So that's our answer. Now, if we're going to set up a proportion, okay, we know that, so let's call this the new and this is the old, right? So these two are corresponding sides. So 9 over the old, which is 27. And over here, this side over here, the 15, corresponds with this side, which is the x. We can cross multiply. We get 9x. We're going to get 27 times 15. It's going to give us 405. We're going to divide by 9. We're going to divide by 9. And x equals 45. The same exact answer. $17. We have a fence. I'm going to draw the fence. Okay. And the fence is 4 feet. But it has a shadow on the ground. And the shadow is 10 feet. A nearby building has a height of 28 feet. And they're asking us, what's the length of the shadow? Okay, call that x. So, again, let's set up new and old. All right. So, in the new, this height over here, the 4, corresponds with this 20 feet, 28 feet, 28 feet. Right? Change colors. And then this shadow of the fence, which is 10 feet, matches up with the shadow of the building, which is the unknown, which is x. Cross multiply, divide by 4 on both sides, and x, the side of the shadow, is 70 feet. Okay. What do we have here? 18. So again, we got a map. So on the map, gives us a scale. So let's write our scale down. 1 inch is 95 miles. On the other side, I'm going to write inch and miles. And what is it that they say? That the distance between two cities in real life is actually 450 miles. So that number is going to actually go here. How many inches apart would they be on a map? That's what they're asking. Cross multiply. 95x equals 450. Divide both sides by 95. X equals 4.74 inches rounded. $19. Okay, so find the missing side. And here's your missing side. I'm going to put X over here. Okay. So let's call this the new one. Let's call this the old one. So This side over here matches with this side, right? So I'm going to write x corresponds, with 15. And on the other side, this 6 over here matches with 2, corresponds with, keep saying matches, corresponds with 10. There's our proportion. Cross multiply. 10x. 15 times 6 is 90. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. X equals 9. Okay. Yep, that's about it.